Hello and welcome to Crafting with Jane. We're doing Christmas again, and today we're making these really rather lovely, and you can decorate them however you want. I'm just showing you some ideas. I've done two with some penguins and I've done two with some robins, and they are, you can hang them on the tree. Or you can, what I will do is I will actually put them onto presents and things that I'm sending, but they are just little tiny little notebooks that you could write a little message in. You could get, if you've got children, you can get them to do, you know, a little drawing or something in there, or just give them for Christmas time when people write little messages and things like that, and remembers and Christmas dinners and all of those sorts of things. Just a fun little thing. So you can see that I've done, this one has got a couple of little ribbons as the embellishment. They're front and back, and I hope you can sort of see there's gold and glimmery things on there as well, which we're going to do. This one has got just some little sort of beads and things. I sort of save, if I've got jewellery that breaks, I save the little beads and things, and it's got a couple of buttons on, because again it's quite good, you know, I've always got bits of buttons on. This one again has got just like a little dangly charm on, and it's got some sort of gold twinkly bits on. Both, they're all done on both sides. And this one has got a couple of little bells on, but again they've all got a few pages in there, 6 pages that you can just, you know, write and do something with. So that's what we're going to do. I've done these ones in green, and this time I'm going to do them in red. So I'm starting off with, and I'm not doing, I would normally do a whole sheet, but it will take too long to do a whole sheet, so I'm just doing half a sheet. And we are going to be choosing different colours of red for this one. So I have got, I'm going to take a cherry cobbler. I'm going to take maybe some pink. So let's take a strawberry slush. I might have a flirty flamingo. Or I might have something that's a bit darker. Let's go for a purpley one. Sweet sugar plum, that'll do. Let's try those 3 colours. I can always add some more if I want to. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take the red first of all. And I've got a little spray bottle. Now this is just 300 GSM cardstock. So it's not too light, but again it's not watercolour, and I'm just giving it a gentle spritz. No real rhyme or reason for that, it just helps. And I'm going to take, and I'm going to just swipe. So I'm just going to swipe on the top like that, a couple of little swipes. And when you look at it to start off with, you're going to say, oh my goodness, this is going to look a mess. It won't when it's finished, trust me. Then we're going to do some sort of pinky swipes down. Then we're going to do some purpley stripes down like that. Okay, now I might just add a little bit of, I've got some pink, which is Blushing Bride. I'm going to just add a little bit of pink in on here, just to add a little bit of contrast in. So I'm just going to add a little bit of pink on here like that. Okay, so we've got our reds and our pinks, and then all we need to do is, now I'm going to take a piece of kitchen roll, and I'm just going to lay it down like that, because once we start spritzing, what we're going to do is, now I hope you're going to be able to see this, because I'm going to take it at a bit of an angle. Can you see this at an angle? Yes, you can. Okay, so I am going to spray on the top at an angle, and I'll tell you once it starts. So you take it from the dark colour, and I'm spraying it all the way down. like this, and hopefully you just see, yes, you can see how it's starting to run, and the colours will just run through from the dark into the pink at the bottom. I just want to make sure I've got a little bit more of this dark red in there, because I quite like the way that's spraying across. Okay, so I'm going to lie that flat, and I'm just going to take and I'm going to dab through on here a bit. Now you can see that's gone nicely. This cherry cobbler is probably a little bit dark on here, so I'm just going to try and just add a little bit and just soak some of that up so it's not too bright. And you can see the cardstock is staying flat because I've got moisture underneath. Now I'm going to take, this is Luscious pigment powder and it's gold. So I'm taking this and I'm taking a little paintbrush and I'm just going to dip it in the paintbrush, and I'm going to just flick it about because it's very, and while it's wet, I'm doing it while it's wet, so I'm literally just wanting to flick some bits about in on here, and then I'm going to just spread them about. While the cardstock is wet, what happens is it will soak into, sorry, I was thinking of where I was doing the colours. So I'm doing them across this way. I'm just doing stripes across. Just do a little bit more up in on here because that's quite dark, so that'll just take that over a bit. Okay, so that's taken that with the gold, and then I'm just going to take another little bit of kitchen roll, and I'm just dabbing off the excess of this. So we've got, take it up. Now, as I say, you can use whatever inks you've got. You can use your pink pigment inks, you can use your oxide inks, you can use whatever inks you've got. I'm just using what I have, and I've got lots of Stampin' Up ones, so I'm using that. Now I'm just going to give it a bit of a dry because we don't want it too wet. It doesn't have to be completely dry, but just enough. And I can take it over onto the other side and just give it a bit of a dry up on here. Back onto this side. I'm just going to dry this down a bit. And then just give this another dry off. So you have to excuse the noise of it while it's drying, but okay. That's just given it a little bit of a dry off because we're going to start to do some stamping and stuff on here. Okay, so as you can see on there, hopefully, you've got all sorts of, you can see on there how much the gold is glittering on there. And although it looks a bit of a mess at the moment, it won't be once we've finished with it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take, I need a stamp to do the back with. Let me just grab some stamps. I don't think I got my stamps out. So give me 2 seconds while I grab some stamps that we're going to use. I want to do something for the background. I think I'm going to use, okay, I'm going to use the Very Versailles this time. It is one of my favourites, as you all well know. I've used quite a few different other ones, and I come back to this again and again. Oh, here we are. I've got all my stamp sets, blocks and things out and ready. So I'm going to put this on here so that that will come that way, and I'm going to do it in black. So this is a black VersaFine Onyx because it's a nice pigment. I'm just going to stamp that up, and I'm just going to take it right into this corner on this one like that, and see if it is, oh yes, that's the right way up. So I'm literally just going to stamp over it like this, and I'm going to do different ones, I think. So we'll have just a row like that, so that gives us that sort of background, and then I'm going to do a row with something else so you can see. So that gives a small sort of script background, which is fine. We can then do, I've got a cloth, rather than using wet wipes and things, I tend to use, or chamois. The chamois tend to get absolutely filthy, whereas a cloth, if it gets dirty, I can just throw it away. So that's one line of that. Now I'm going to use I'm trying to find the one I want, and obviously you always never find the one you actually want. Here we go. Right, these are my All and Create ones, and this one, I really like this because it's got little circles and things in, and they just tend to work really quite well. So it is the All and Create. It is Textured Florals by Tracy Evans. So I'm just taking this one because it's got the nice circles in, and I really like that sort of look for the script. And that can then go, let me take this on here. Again, you can do whatever you want. It's entirely up to you. I just wanted to show you some different ideas. So this one, we're literally just going to take this down like this. And the good thing with this is that you can actually just have them so that they overlap each other. And you can see on here it doesn't matter too much. I'm literally just going over the top, and you can see how these overlap, but it really doesn't matter because of the type of stamp set it is, which I think is really rather good. So I like those sorts of ones. Okay, so now we've got some script and stuff on there. It is still a little damp, but that'll be fine because I don't really need to worry about that too much, because by the time we've finished and we've done other bits and pieces on it, it'll be absolutely fine. Okay, so and you can, if you don't want to do your own paper, you can just use some pattern paper. It doesn't have quite the same effect, I must admit, but it's certainly not too bad. Okay, so now we need to do some splots and bits and pieces like that on there. So we have got, I want to use some coloured ones. Now I've got some coloured sparkle ones which I think are rather nice. So I'm going to use some yellow because I think yellow will work quite well. So all I do is I shake it first And these are my Posca pens. You can get Posca pens wherever you want. You can also use whatever you want. And all I'm doing is literally just splattering it all over. I can turn it round as I go, so we can get it onto lots of different parts like that. So that's the yellow, and it comes out a bit like gold, which is why I wanted to use it. Now I'm going to use some red. So I'm going to use this red one, because then that'll just give a little bit. Again, gave it a good shake. You can see, I hope you can see the little speckles coming through. They just add a little bit of something to them. Okay, so that's that one. And they are sparkle ones, so that they are sparkly Posca pens, which are quite fun. Now I want to do something that is going to show up a bit more. So I'm actually going to use, I don't want to have, I'm going to use silver, I think, because I think if I use, I might use some black, but I'm going to use some silver because we've got gold, but I quite like the idea of using some silver on there. I'm trying to get the pens out. And obviously you can do these when you're doing your cards, but this is for doing, and you can make quite a few out of this. So that's my silver, like that. And then I'm going to do some white, or I might do some black actually. I haven't got much black on there, have I? Let's do some black. And these are all the small ones, the finer nibs. Oh, now you can see that coming out. Turn it round a bit. Lovely. Okay, so we've got some nice splatters and things on there, which, as I say, I think look lovely. And I just want to, I'm going to take some of the, these are the thicker ones. So I'm going to take some thicker black. While I've got it, give that a good shake. Take that off of there. Right, I'm going to try and do some bigger shakes. That's perfect. Otherwise I'm getting it all over the place. You can see me speckled it on there. Okay, and it just adds a little bit of something on there. Now, if you're not comfortable at doing speckles, and as you know, I wasn't too comfortable to start off with, and I used to use the Gorgeous Grunge stamp, because that just adds just some really lovely bits on there. Okay, so I just need to give that just a quick go over with the heat gun to make sure that I dry all those little bits off. And that's curling, so I'm going to turn it round the other way, and that should flatten it out again. Perfect. Okay, so we now have a piece of card, which it looks a bit odd. You know, I'm the first one to admit it doesn't look brilliant. However, I've got my trimmer out. So I am going to cut it at, needs to come up this way. I'm going to take off this little edge piece here, because I want it to be slightly brighter on the top of this one. So I'm just going to take it to there, and then that's going to be a scrabbly bit. So I'm going to take it to, I take it this way around, don't I? So I want it to be 2.5 inches. So take it to 2.5 inches. And I'm going to cut it down like that. And I'm going to cut this one down by 2.5 inches. So that's 2.5 inches. Like that. Oh, got to be a bit careful. That top bit is not dry very well. Okay, so that's 2.5, and then I'm going to take it to 1 3/4. And take this one to 1 3/4. Hope you can see that off of here. I've just realised I'm probably off on the camera. So that's 1 3/4. Another one at 1 3/4. And this one is going to be 1 3. In fact, that one I'm going to do the other way around. So I've got 2 on there. Let me just do one more on this at 1 3/4. 1 3/4, like that. Okay. And then I want this one to come up this way. So this has got to be the 2 3/4. Sorry, 2.5. That's 2.5. No, it needs to be 1 3/4, doesn't it? Because I want it to be the words, the writing to go the right way up. So that's 1 3/4, and that's going to be 2.5. Okay, and we'll just do this one as well at the bottom. So this is going to be, I'm going to take it out a bit this way. I want to take that bottom piece off because there's not much on there. Like that. And then I want this to come through at, that's got to be 1 3. No, it hasn't. That's got to be 2.5, isn't it? 2.5, like that. And then that way is the 1 3/4, 1 3/4. Okay, so basically you're cutting your pieces, but to, oh, that's wrong. What have I done there? That's 1 3/4. Is that 2.5? That's 2.5. Is that not 2.5 then? It's obviously a bit more. Let's cut this one at 2.5. 2.5 is there, isn't it? Right. That's better. Okay, so take that out for now. The other thing is that you've any of your scrappy pieces that you've got left over are actually great for just adding little bits and pieces onto cards and stuff. So I always keep them anyway. But now you've got, and you can see now that these look an awful lot better. So we've got 2 with the writing on, and we've got 2 that are going to, I'm going to have that one and that one, I think, that are going to come this way. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to have, you need to cut yourself down, and I've already done this. So cut yourself down some, I've done it as thinner. This is just cream coloured, you know, off-white, and you want 6 sheets, and you make them exactly the same size. So this is exactly the same. Now I'm going to have that on the front, that on the back, and you're just going to make sure that it is exactly the same size. And then we're going to do another. I've only got 2, so I'll do one of each one, and I'll do some more later on. So I think I'm going to have that one at the front, this one on this side. So you have one on one way and one on the other, like that. Okay, and I've got those other ones to do. Now we need to take our sponge daubers, and we are going to take the darkest colour, which was the excuse me, which was the cherry cobbler, which is a lovely dark red, and we are going to, before we do anything more, we're going to take the front and the back, and we are going to sponge the inside. I've got to be careful because mine is still a little bit damp. It just gives the inside piece just a little bit of something. Now, if you don't like the inside looking like this, you can always matte it with another piece of card, and that will give it a little bit more stability. But because it's only going to be a little thing on a present, and like everything, as soon as the present's been opened, it's unlikely to be, I know some people will save them, but most people will just throw them out, so that they are literally just little things, or as I say, you can put them on the tree if you want. So that's that one. Let's do this one. But just by doing it round the edges, you just get a little bit more colour, and as I say, on the inside as well. And then take the outside. Go all the way around, or you can see that's the bit that's still very damp, so I'm doing it quite gently around there because I don't want that to tear. Okay, that's those two. Now these came out a little bit pinker, but you can see once we've got this on, it makes it look nicer. Now, if you didn't want to do it with the red, you could always do it with gold to add a little bit more. But you can see on there, you've got a lot of gold coming through, which I think is fine. And then you've got the shimmer, the luscious powders, which are by Indigo Blue. And as I've said before, you know, I get, if you want to buy anything from Indigo Blue, you can get a 20% discount by doing code Jane, which is my name, Jane, in lowercase 20, and you'll get 20% off of any Indigo Blue purchases. So, you know, if you want to get some of this luscious powder in gold, it's only a few pounds. They do it post internationally. In fact, one of my subscribers, who we've become quite close friends now, she entered a competition and actually won, and they sent it all the way across to America for her. So, you know, they do post across the world. Okay, so let's go back to this. So these are our 12 pieces of paper. Need to make sure that my writing is going to come up the right way, which I think it is. Put these on like that. I'm going to do the other one because I'm going to do them all at the same time. So again, I'm just taking my card and just putting them in like that. Okay, now you need to take a crocodile or anything that is going to punch some nice holes, and I'm going to put some little rivets in. So I've got some rivets in different colours, and I'm just going to put those in as well because I think they look quite nice. So you're going to gather this quite tightly to make sure that it's exactly the same size, and then you're going to take your crocodile, says me just like moving it across. You're going to take your crocodile and you're just going to make a hole in the top corner And then I'm going to just put, I don't care what colour it is, I've got black, gold and copper, so it just depends what comes out. I'm not overly fussed. This is a gold one, so that's quite good. And I'm just going to put that right the way through. I need to take it so that it comes. If you haven't used these before, they are really worth getting because they make it ever so pretty, and you make sure that you have your end piece that comes right over like that. Okay, so that's the first one. I'm going to do this one with the hole first, and then I'll do both of these at the same time. So I'm just going to take that in, see if I can get that out. I think it probably will stick in there because it's a bit damp, isn't it? Let's see if I can push this one in anyway. You can see I've got a little one in on there, but that's fine. Up in there, twisting it so that it comes out reasonably well, and just take those pieces out. There we go. Take another one. It's another gold one. There we go. We've got two gold ones on here. Doesn't really matter. And I'm just going to press this right the way in like that, so it comes through on the other side. And then I just need to take the this part at the end, which I've already set it up. So I will put this in on here, over there, and then squeeze it down, and then you've got your rivet in place. So let me just do exactly the same with this. Pop it in on here, squeeze it down, and that's the rivet in place. Okay, so that has given you, let's put those away, that has given you the bare bones of your little book. Okay, and you can see you've got your pages inside. Mine is warping a little bit at the moment purely because it's still slightly damp. I didn't, you know, you'd normally let your outside piece dry a bit, but you can see how this looks quite pretty with the gold, and it's totally unique. It's not like a paper, but if you have some really nice paper, you could always use that. Now I have got, because I've done a couple of these bits in advance, so I'm going to take these two bits. These are going to be my dangly bits, and I've got, just getting these in from here. Okay, so I've got these as Father Christmases this time, and these are going to go just straight on the front like that. These are ones that I've oh, I don't even know what set they come from, to be quite honest. And these are just little stars that I've just, as I say to you, whenever I cut something out, I always sort of leave little bits and pieces in. So I'm going to have a little star at the top and a little star at the bottom, like that. And these are slightly different stars, so I'm going to have a little star in at the top like that, and we'll have a little one at the bottom like that. Okay, so I just need to grab some glue, which is in on my other desk. I'll grab it for you. Right, I always say that one day I will have everything ready, but then that wouldn't be me crafting, would it? Because I craft, everything is live as I do it, and it's like everything. You never, I don't know anybody that has all of their craft things ready at the same time. I certainly don't. I have some things ready, and some things I go like, oh, I need to get that done, or I need to get that done. Okay, so I'm just going to put that up in on that corner, and this one down in on this corner. Now you saw that I've just slid that glue. That doesn't matter because it will dry clear. I'm just going to dab it a little bit because I don't want too much glue on there. And then I'm going to do this in on the other corner. Now these stars are from, there was a punch, a star punch. And I tend to do a few when I've got little tiny scraps, particularly of this sort of gold paper, and so I then keep them, and this one's even got that edge piece has been nipped off, so it must have been a real edge piece, but that doesn't matter because that will go inside, and then my Father Christmas will come in over the top. Okay, so that's given me a little bit of sparkle. Just dab that off a little bit. There we go. These, as I say, are the nice little Father Christmases, so I'm going to put them in on top. Now I could put them with dimensionals. Shall I, shan't I? I might do, actually. Let's put them with a foam pad. They're quite big, aren't they? I might use these ones in here. So I'm going to have a foam pad on the back of this one. And we'll have a foam pad on the back of this one. Like that. And then I'm just going to put these in on top. So that can just go in there. So you've got the little bit of twinkle from the stars coming through. You've got Father Christmas on there. And again, you know, great for just putting, I'm going to be using them for my presents, I think. But you could, you know, have them as little tree ornaments as well, because they're quite pretty. Okay, so these literally are just some beads and some twinklies that were beads. As I say, I expect most of you are the same as me. When I have if I have a necklace that breaks, or I'm very lucky actually, one of my friends owns a clothing boutique in my local town, and so if she ever has any jewelry that's, you know, come in that's broken, or you know, is returned because it's broken, then she always saves it for me, because she knows that I will do all sorts of things with it. So I'm just going to take this so it comes up at the top, and I've got that so that can come down at the side. So I'm just tightening that up at the top. That's quite nice on there. And then all I will do is to just tie this in like this. Try and get it through. You can never tie things on camera. It's one of those things, you can tie them perfectly off camera. As soon as you get on camera, my fingers and thumbs are like sausages, and you can't get them tied in. Is it going to go this time? Maybe. I just want to take it up as high as it'll go, like that. And then I'm just going to trim that little top piece off, like that. And that's that one. And then this one, again, I had, you can see it's got a little red bead, and then this is some sort of, you know, like gold that again was from a little chainy thing. But it's just something that just makes it look a little bit pretty. So this can, again, can go in through here. Take it through on here. With my cat-handed hands. It's quite funny. I know that at this stage in the video, it will be my fans that that are with me the whole time, and the rest will have stopped watching, so it doesn't matter if my hands are a bit cat-handed. I'm just going to give that an extra little tie on there. And then on this one, let's see if we can do it first time. What do we reckon? I think we might actually this time. That through on there. There we go. And then I just put this up as near to the top as I can. Give that little tie off. There we go. So we now have another 2 little things, and as you can see, they look quite pretty on there. And you've got both sides, but obviously if you're putting it on a present, you know, and you don't have to do them for Christmas, you can do them for any time of year. But they're quite fun. I know, you know, I know that the grandchildren love a little notepad, and in fact I know that my daughter-in-laws like them as well, because they stick them in for like little shopping things and what have you. So these were the ones I did before, but you can see how pretty they look, and you know, they make great fun little gifts. Decorate them how you want. So I hope you enjoyed that. As always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind, and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.